JP Morgan CEO Jamie Dimon just slams crypto at Davos. We also have Bitcoin at a critical level in the charts. Loads to cover here today, including Coinbase going to court with the SEC in what is a major day for crypto. I'm going to break down exactly what is going on in the chart, where I expect Bitcoin to go. As you guys know, I'm actively trading this market. Take a look at this, guys. Two of my trades currently making insane results. We've got Tree moving nicely here, as well as Archem. So this is Archem up 13%. Still a little bit from our TP1, but nice spot profit of 13% there. Tree moving really close to our TP1 as well, up another 19% spot. If you're interested in learning how to trade spot, no leverage, sustainable with risk management, you need to be in our Telegram community, ijazcrypto.com/TG. We're actively trading this market. Now, Bitcoin here, you can see Bitcoin bouncing here from the EMA ribbon, right? A couple of decent days here. Following that up with today in the red, but the question is going to be, can we bounce, or is this just a retest, right? Are we just retesting the EMA ribbon before a bigger move to the downside coming down into this direction, right? Is this like the final gasp of breath before we get thrown to the downside? You can already see the top of the EMA ribbon here is getting ready to flip, and that yellow line at the top is starting to cross over, which is showing a lot of weakness here on the uptrend that was here for Bitcoin. So you can see here from this perspective, if I put the lines back on, you can see we had this upwards trend, and the question is, are we just back testing this green line before falling where my arrow is showing? This is what we need to watch out for here on Bitcoin. In order to hold, we need to stay above the EMA ribbon and start working our way back up and through and higher. Now, that's not going to be easy, right? And that's why I've said I've got a bias towards 38,000 here on Bitcoin. Now, that is not confirmed unless till we lose our EMA ribbon. But for now, I'm looking at the wider markets, and the wider markets aren't looking super bullish. You've got the traditional markets moving here to the downside. Retail sales figures came out slightly higher, topping expectations, which again shows a lot of resilience in the economy. But we don't want resilience in the economy. Resilience in the economy means that inflation could be higher for longer, which means that the Fed could delay their rate hike. So if we take a look at this, you're seeing the 10-year Treasury yield rising 4 basis points higher to 4.1%. Why does the US 10-year Treasury yield go up? It goes up when people are risk off. Just like the dollar index, which we'll take a look at shortly, it does well when people want to rotate away from risky plays, i.e. crypto and NASDAQ stocks, and go into safer things like US dollar or the government debt like the US 10-year, right? That's why it tends to do better. So if we take a look at this now, we can take a look here. On Wednesday, European Central Bank President Christine Lagarde said she expects the ECB to cut rates later this year. So far, traders are pricing in a roughly 60% chance that the Federal Reserve begins cutting rates in March, but also we have to understand this. Look, Federal Reserve Governor Christopher Waller warned easing monetary policy may come slower than anticipated. What does that mean? Because remember, what the markets are anticipating is 3 rate cuts this year. Is he giving us a clue that maybe we won't see 3? Because remember, a couple of weeks ago or last week, we just had really strong CPI data. We've now had strong retail sales data. This is getting us worried now. Is inflation rearing its head? And are we now not going to get the rate cuts which we wanted? This is all going to put pressure on the markets. Another thing which is putting pressure on the markets, and I'm going to come on to what Jamie Dimon said, you're not going to believe it, but let's take a look at this, which is Coinbase. Coinbase versus the SEC. They're going to go into a court hearing today that the US securities regulator should drop its case against it because the tokens traded on its crypto exchange are not akin to securities. You guys know this is not a Coinbase specific issue. This is a huge battle that Coinbase needs to go into and win for the whole crypto industry. We know that the SEC went after CZ, they went after Binance, and they went after Coinbase at the time, saying, look, all of these altcoins are securities, and therefore you have to register with us like everybody else, right? And Coinbase, their core argument is the following, that the SEC is overreaching and the assets it lists for trading are not securities. So Coinbase will come out and say, look, we've done a big check. We reject the majority of coins that want to list on Coinbase, and these ones definitely do not have the properties. They do not meet the Howey test, which we saw XRP successfully got a ruling on with the judge last year, and they're going to want to play the same argument, which is these are not securities. So another important battle for us to listen to as this unfolds later today. Again, I will be sharing updates in the Telegram community, which is free, ijazcrypto.com/TG. TG. Link will be in the description. Now, if you guys want to trade actively, like I just showed you my trades again, check out the link to Telegram, but also check out the links to Bybit, BitGet, Mexi, 3 of the exchanges I like to use on a day-to-day basis for my trading. Definitely some of the best exchanges out there to use. Links in the description. Now, the other interesting news which really shocked me today was this. Our good old friend Jamie Dimon comes out with yet more hypocrisy. Let's take a listen.
Cryptocurrencies, there are 2 types. There's a cryptocurrency which might actually do something. Think of a cryptocurrency as an embedded smart contract in it, and that we can use it to buy and sell real estate and move data. That may have value.
The idea of tokenizing things.
Tokenizing things that you do something with. And then there's one which does nothing. I call it the pet rock, the Bitcoin or something like that. And so on the Bitcoin, there's, first of all, and I'm not trying to make a joke here. There are use cases, AML, fraud, anti-money laundering, tax avoidance, sex trafficking. Those are real use cases, and you see...
Whoa. Do we know who said this last? Does anybody remember a guy called Larry Fink, maybe, from BlackRock, who now runs a Bitcoin spot ETF with billions of dollars flowing into a Bitcoin spot ETF? Yes, he said it was an index for money laundering. And wait, you were saying the same thing, Jamie Dimon. Interesting. Well, isn't it funny that you're an authorized participant in that very BlackRock spot Bitcoin ETF? Speaking out of both sides of your mouth, aren't you, my friend?
Being used for hundreds, maybe 50 or $100 billion a year for that. That is the end use case. Everything else is people train among themselves. So
speculate.
Yeah. Now, okay. Now, my last statement. The last time I ever talk about Bitcoin is defend your right to do Bitcoin. I think, it's okay. I don't want to tell you what.
He doesn't defend our right to do Bitcoin. He cannot stop us. It's like Jim Cramer said on CNBC, you can't kill crypto. You've tried. Oh, you TradFi Davos lot. You all tried and you cannot kill crypto as you would have. You would not have let crypto make it to 2024 and authorized a Bitcoin spot ETF. You tried your very best. You tried choke point. You tried. You're still trying. You're taking Coinbase to court as well. You keep trying. But now you're starting to come to realization. That's the truth. That if we can't break it, let's make it ours. And that's why they're moving on to strategy 2, which is not destroy crypto, but try to take it over. And this is where we need to be very, very careful.
So my personal advice is don't get involved, but I don't want to tell any one of you what to do. It's a free country.
What do you make of BlackRock? What do you make of the other firms?
U.S. is a free country,
of the world that obviously, and Larry Fink changed his view of this, obviously.
Yeah.
And maybe he changed his view because you think he genuinely believes in Bitcoin or believed it because he thinks that there's a marketplace for it and he wants to be part of that market. But what do you think of there's about a dozen big financial companies, Fidelity included.
Number one, I don't care. So just please stop talking about this shit. And I don't know what he would say about blockchain versus currencies that do something versus Bitcoin that does nothing. And maybe that's not different than me. But, this is what makes a market. People have opinions. This is the last time I'm ever going to state my opinion.
Gold really doesn't do anything either.
No, it won't be.
Yeah, but gold's limited in supply.
So is Bitcoin.
And it's been used. So you think so, huh?
I do.
I think there's a good chance that when we get to that 20 million Bitcoins.
They go to 42?
No, that Satoshi's going to come on there.
Satoshi, good research. Satoshi.
Go quiet, all Bitcoin's going to be erased.
I think, man.
How the hell do you know it's going to stop at 21? I've never met one person who told me they know for a fact. They take that
mathematically, it can't happen because by the last one will be mined in 2150, and it gets harder and harder every time there's another halving. But Jamie, looking back over,
you guys do what you want, I'll do what I want.
As for gold, you can the 6 characteristics that make gold valuable for 4,000 years. They're all present in Bitcoin. That's all I'll say. And I love you, and I don't want to. And I also don't want to be a.
Joe, you may be right.
Yeah.
I don't own gold either, so okay.
That's what I mean.
Couple of quick final questions.
Unbelievable hypocrisy from these TradFi guys. But why do we expect anything better, right? We know exactly what they're doing. Be very, very careful out there, guys. Longer term, they want to take control of this asset class. So we as a community need to be very, very smart. They tried to kill crypto. They couldn't. Now they're trying to adopt it through their means, right? Controlling it through their mechanisms, through their games, getting Bitcoin spot ETFs open. They'll then get options open. They'll get all the futures like we saw. They're going to play with their types of games. Because guess what? when it's their rules, they'll win. That's their stomping ground. They're bringing you to their ring, their boxing ring, and they're going to try to beat you with experience there. So we need to be very, very careful with the developments going on here, as well as Coinbase versus the SEC. I will again give you guys updates in the Telegram as and when they come out. Otherwise, fear and greed index notching down to 60 here. That kind of froth in the market has definitely started to dissipate as Bitcoin now sits at this critical level here. We have to watch for this, guys. We have to pay attention to this trend. Are we going to be able to reestablish this trend line and start working our way upwards, or are we just back testing it on the downside before a bigger move to the downside? If we lose our EMA ribbon, guys, remember I did cover off a video saying we could easily fall down to this next support here, which sits at that $38,000 level. Let's get a quick check in here on the dollar index, and this is what's causing our pain, right? If you take a look at this, the dollar index, we were hoping we'd just get rejected from the EMA ribbon and it comes down. We went into the EMA ribbon, we rode it and did the exact opposite. It's now above its EMA ribbon. It's going to look to retest, right? It's going to look to retest this line here and try to work its way onward. So we need to keep a close eye here on the dollar index, which is showing really good strength. And again, let's reiterate, why is this creating strength? This is not a crypto specific issue why this is strong. This is based on what I shared with you. Strong retail sales data, a lot of geopolitical tensions going on around the world. You just need to open the news and take a glance at the number of crazy stuff going on in the world right now. It's been a crazy first 2 weeks of 2024. This creates uncertainty in the market. We don't know if inflation is going to continue to increase. We don't know whether the economy is too strong and overheating. We don't know if they need to keep rates higher for longer. All of that is making people flock to safety. We're seeing weakness in the S&P. We're seeing weakness in the Nasdaq. We're seeing strength in the dollar index as more people move to the dollar as a flight to safety, and that is never good for crypto. So as long as this dollar index stays above its EMA ribbon, particularly if it looks like it wants to start doing this and really start working its way up, that's going to signal a pullback for Bitcoin. Now, for me, no issue whatsoever. If Bitcoin wants to pull back, let it pull back. I want to take some purchases. I want to take some nibbles. And if you look at this weekly chart, if this wants to pull back for a couple of weeks, a month, 2 months, no problem for me. The closer we get to 38, I'll be nibbling. If we come into the EMA ribbon at 37, I'm buying even bigger. This is a nice pullback to have in the post ETF era. I'm excited to see where this year goes for Bitcoin. Of course, loads going on, lots for us to watch out for, but I'll be navigating you guys through this as well. Make sure you're in our community in the Telegram for updates in between videos, and also make sure you are subscribed. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.